The video starts with an intro with purple swirls around a purple and gray picture of Judy Human. Underneath the picture is text that reads The Human Perspective. The video fades into a 4-video split-screen interview with Judy Human at the top left, Jim LeBrecht at the top right, Sara Boulder at the bottom left, and a video with a photo of Nicole Newnham with an animated wavelength to show when she is speaking at the bottom right. Judy Human is a white woman with short brown hair. She is wearing a red shirt, glasses, and uses a wheelchair. There are pictures of family and friends behind her. Jim LeBrecht is a white man with long, curly, blondish gray hair. He is wearing a black shirt, wearing glasses, and uses a wheelchair. There are posters behind him. Sara Boulder is a white woman with shoulder-length gray curly hair. She is wearing glasses and a blue shirt. The picture of Nicole Newnham is a white woman with shoulder-length blonde hair. She is wearing a black shirt and glasses.
Welcome back to The Human Perspective. Today we're going to be speaking with 3 fantastic people who have made Crip Camp a reality. So I'd like to introduce Jimmy LeBrecht, otherwise known to friends as Jim. I call him Jimmy and James, depending on my mood. And Nicole Newnham and Sara Boulder. And I really hope that the discussion today is not going to be too serious because they've been doing so many interviews. And I just thought it would be really fun for people to get to know them more as the people they are. And obviously the film is very important because we're right in the middle of Oscar season. And as most of our viewers will know, Crip Camp is in the 5 films that are being reviewed to be selected for Best Documentary. So, Jimmy, let me just say about Jimmy. So for those of you who, again, have seen the film, the most important part of the film to me is looking at Jimmy when he was 15, and I think we could do a vote. Cute, cute, cute. And so cute in looks and cute in the way he presented himself. Jimmy, when you look back at that film and when you first saw the footage, how did you feel?
I was just surprised and amused and kind of went, wow, Jim. Yeah,
Cute little sucker.
I guess you could say that, yeah. Thank you for starting off with a really embarrassing question.
Oh, that wasn't embarrassing. I think anybody, whether they know you or not, that beginning part of you in the car and then you're going down the ramp, they are adorable. And the love between you and Nancy, thinking about 15-year-old love, oh my God, it makes you cry. So, Nicole, tell us a little bit about yourself that people don't know. We know you're a great filmmaker. We know you have won numerous awards for your documentary work. But, what drives you when you get up in the morning? What are things that make you happy and make you feel like you're making a difference?
I don't know if before making Crip Camp I could have articulated it as well as I can now, actually, because I think that the experience of working on Crip Camp has helped me understand that better. I think that what I've always loved about this work is that experience of sort of finding your tribe of people and doing something together with them. It's really collaborative. It's really scary. You're definitely out on a limb when you're making a documentary because there's no screenplay, there's no roadmap. You don't know what's going to happen when you turn the camera on. You don't know what archival footage you're going to find. So you have to kind of get your people together and have a shared dream. And then you have to, find people who are brave and believe that the power of that story could actually do something in the world. And I like to just immerse myself in it. I like to live in it. I'm sad when it's over. I'm already getting sad at the idea that after this Oscar season, we don't get to stay in the world of Camp Jeanette as much as I've been living in for the past 6 years. So whatever project I take on, I kind of inhabit heart and soul like that, and that drives me.
And how does that impact your life with your family?
Well, they have to be.
Nicole is married. She has 2 boys.
They have to be bought in, you know? So actually, I think about that a little bit when I take on a project. Like the previous film that I worked on before this, that was an independent film, was about like social change in young people, but it was about young people organizing in informal settlements in Kolkata in India and demanding better public health conditions. So not completely different than Crip Camp in some ways. And for my kids, it was like this incredible experience to learn about another culture, another country, and to see young people like themselves, making a difference in the world. And Crip Camp was the same. It was kind of part of their world. They live in the East Bay in Berkeley. They know Jim and Sara. So it's just like sort of expanding their horizons, and they're kind of living in it too with me. And I'm very thankful that I have a family that's up for that adventure and that immersion.
So, Sara.
Can I just interrupt and add one thing, which is that Nicole's husband, Tom, has been an amazing part of this whole thing. And I think given us some really important counsel. I have no idea what kind of conversations you two have had, Nicole, but even when he's been involved really from the get-go. He's a real movement person. He's really smart about movements, about group dynamics within all kinds of work. So, I mean, I'd say Tom is definitely a big part of the team as well. Nicole brings her whole wonderful family along with her, thank goodness. It's been a complete joy and asset, to the experience, I think, for me personally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, early on, one of my favorite afternoons was putting together this desk with one of Nicole's sons, and it was just like we were just doing this thing together. And I don't know, it brought me a piece of joy.
Yeah.
So, Sara, tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you got involved. Who did you first meet in this group of 3? How did you meet the person? And yeah.
So I met Jim. Gosh, Jim, how many years ago is it? It's 20.
The first time?
Yeah, the first time.
That would have been like very early 1990.
Jim was making the transition from working in theater to film, and I had moved to the Bay Area from New York, so kind of had to get established in the post-production film community here. So we were both working a few very, very low-budget jobs together, but nothing really sparked there. And years later, we kind of reconnected, and Jim and I started going out. Now we're married. But until then, I had never thought twice about disability. Nobody in my life that I knew had a disability, just never thought about it. And so I kind of got into Jim's world and kept learning and learning and learning and having my mind blown in numerous ways. And so before then, I had varied work experience, little bit of documentary assistant editing in New York, then got into sound editing, and then continued doing that. I was a single mom and sole support, so my focus was supporting us and having a career, and then changed careers kind of in my late 40s, I think. Kind of wanted to reconnect with my rabble-rousing activist high school and college years, and so started doing fundraising for various social justice type organizations. And so Jim had been, of course, telling me stories about Camp Jened for years. And when Nicole came on board and got super excited, I was kind of searching at that point for what to do, and just kind of talked my way into the job, not really knowing what to expect, and getting a lot of mentorship along the way from Nicole as well as some others. Yeah. So,
what role have you played with the film?
A lot of fundraising, which was also very much a team effort. Nicole had amazing connections, which modestly, I'm still finding out things about Nicole's background. Like, oh yeah, my first film, my student film, was at Sundance. I think I found that out at Sundance. It's like, what? She just has amazing deep experience and deep relationships within the kind of documentary ecosystem.
Yeah, but Sarah, you are an amazing
Well, thank you.
fundraiser. You are an incredible fundraiser. You have like every skill set that one would need to do that, and it's actually like I think you're the best at it that I've ever seen in all my years, and you do it with like all your heart and soul, and just make these deep connections with people, and so you end up feeling like you have this kind of community of people around you supporting the film, and it's brilliant to see.
Thank you.
So why don't we stop for a second? Because I was with you all at Sundance, and I'm not going to yet explain how I felt about it, but it was pretty overwhelming. So when you think about like the first showing, like and the reactions in the room where the film was shown and afterwards, were there any surprises? Did you feel at all like you were getting air knocked out of your body from the way, clearly I did, from the way people were responding? What were your visceral reactions?
I just remember that this is the first time I've really seen it with an audience, and I just remember the moment early in the film where the black and white footage and we're coming up on Larry Allison, the camp director, and he's there digging post holes, and he's joking around about saying, "Yeah, I'm digging holes because the campers are kind of clumsy and I want to see them trip," and the audience laughed, and it was that moment that said, "Oh my God, they're getting it." I think
Okay, Nicole.
I mean, first of all, we were all there together, which was so special. It was so amazing to have everyone there. So I was like literally.
When you say everyone, you mean all the main people that were highlighted in the
That's
film,
right.
and other people from Jeanette who came to support.
Exactly. So it was like a big band of Genetians. And, Corbett O'Toole and Dennis Phillips, who were, key players in the 504 sit-in, and incredible activists and people. And so just to have that whole group gathered, and to be kind of feeling the audience response along with everybody was just like an incredible thing. And I kept like looking back at Denise to see what Denise's response was to like people. Denise Jacobson, because Denise has just this brilliant way of speaking, and when she lands a line, like it's just like meticulously crafted and perfection, and the audience was responding so powerfully to these brilliant things that Denise was saying, and the kind of punchlines at the end of some of her jokes. And so I would look at her, and then I was basically like grabbing my husband's arm so hard I think it hurt, because just squeezing it, like, can you believe it, because it was all these tiny little decisions and things and hopes and dreams that we had woven into the film for years, or like an archival shot that we were like, oh my God, can you believe we found this? And just to hear people responding to all of that, and to see that the sum was greater than the parts, that like that standing ovation at the end, which, as you remember, went on for like 5 minutes or something. I mean, it was like one of the longest standing ovations I've ever been a part of for anything. And then there was another whole one just for you, Judy. And I think that was a very powerful moment, because then it felt like it wasn't just the film being recognized, it was the activism being recognized, somehow. That I think that was probably one of the most awe-inspiring moments of my life.
So kudos, because obviously I think this film on its own is obviously brilliant, but I really hope that it goes beyond influencing the disability community, as you were saying, Nicole, by people who saw the film but likely had nothing to do with disability, but found it to be a powerful film because it's a film intended to be beyond disability. We're getting close to concluding, but I have to talk about the academies.
I'm going to
So
butt in for a second and saying
go.
I truly believe we would not be here if it wasn't for the fact that I met you at Camp Jeanette. and that your influence upon me as a very young man, and your personality, your perseverance, you're you're an incredible leader, and you're the reason I got involved with disability rights, and that never left me, and is the reason that I didn't want this story to be lost to history. So I have to tell you how much I love you, and say it publicly.
I love you too. That's why I get to call him Jimmy and James. Well, I want to thank you all so much, and I can't wait to see the clothing that you're going to be wearing. Hopefully, the intended Oscars will be in person, like they're saying. And I guess, should we expect that the academies will comply with the law as far as accessibility to the stage is concerned?
I'm I'm very hopeful that that's going to happen. They are very, very well aware of not only what the law is, but what the optics need to be. In that you can't, you want to make it as though we are not special. That there's no special way for, if we were, the three of us were fortunate enough to be able to go on the stage, that we should be going the same route as everybody else. That is true, and that's true acceptance and inclusivity.
Well, let me thank you all. Clearly, I am not an unbiased person. I hope and pray that this film wins. Um, not just because of the quality of the film, but because I think it'll make a really important statement that the academies haven't made before. So, win or lose, we've won, but I hope you get to take your trophies home. So, thank you all very much, guys. We'll talk
Thank
soon.
you,
Bye, Judy.
Judy.
Thank you.
That history won't forget us or try to minimize our pain, and so why